Hello guys, welcome back to our Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Battle. Savage was like a war god from the universe, roaring and his eyes were gleaming red. Under the opponent's influence, Luolong's eyes were completely ice cold. His entire demeanor was like a beast being suppressed, brandishing of blades. Savage was barefooted. Every step he took had the strength and weight of 10 million kilograms. Even the arena, with its diameter of 10 kilometers, trembled as he took his steps. With just 2 steps, the tall and sturdy Savage had already reached right before Luolong, and that blade infused with ground yellow energy sliced straight at him. Stepping on the soaring shuttle, Luolong fiercely retreated. His eyes staring hard, gritting his teeth, he squeezed out the words, "Kill." A golden light shot out from the dark golden long rod on his back. The 9 golden blades with complex engravings on them swiftly moved. Threads of gold weaved through the entire body, swiftly forming a golden blade. Compared to the blade from 2 months ago, during the elimination round, the current golden blade Luolong had formed was much more stable and formidable. Rumble. A golden rainbow shot towards Savage. Break. Savage's expression struggled. He roared softly while brutally slicing straight at the golden rainbow. Under the pressure of his yellow energy flow, along with Luolong's eyes gleaming ice cold, the golden rainbow almost seemingly wanted to dodge this blade. Dang. Even though it seemed like it was about to dodge it, that blade seemed to move a few inches and directly sliced that golden rainbow, causing it to be smashed away. The entire golden blade trembled for a bit, almost as though it was about to fall apart. Savage couldn't help but take a few steps back too. His grip on the blade too seemed to have weakened. Big brother and second brother were right. This punk's attack is extremely heavy. There hasn't been anyone so far who was able to almost break apart my golden blade with just one slice. From far in mid-air while controlling the golden blade, Luolong's expression changed slightly. Gold, as strong and piercing as the sun. Savage stuck out his tongue and licked his thick lips. Following which he violently roared, as though he was extremely excited. Savage. The 1 billion spectators and the countless people were caught up in the moment, all roaring with all their might. Within the arena, go and die. Luolong was still cold and not affected at all. As he coldly snorted, immediately the golden blade floated again and accelerated, becoming a golden rainbow and rushing towards Savage. The spectators in the arena, all 1 billion of them, were all stunned by this scene. These two, one strong and brutal. Even though he was charging head first, his movements were very peculiar, almost like an invincible war god as he chased down Luolong time and again. The other was like an exceptional master, floating and dodging time and again against the opponent, making him unable to attack. At the same time controlling the spirit weapon to attack over and over. It was 2 completely different styles of fighting. One was a brutal fighter, while the other was a long-ranged attacker. Savage is too strong. If this madman slows down even just a little, just one slice would probably finish him. This madman is really strong. Every time he clashes against that attack, that Savage's body will definitely feel the tremors. In fact, he may even be already injured. If this goes on, Savage will definitely lose. Whether it was the 1 billion spectators in the arena, or the countless people in the countless galaxies watching the broadcast all over, it did not matter what they deduced and concluded. Luolong and Rongjun in the arena knew best about the predicament of their opponent. Lightning-fast attacks were exchanged over and over. This carried on for a minute before stopping. Savage stood in the arena and stared at the distant Luolong. Luolong too had stopped, not continuing his attack. My hand. Savage creased his eyebrows, feeling soreness in his entire right arm. The area between the thumb and the index finger had already ripped apart. Matching force with force time and again. Every attack was extremely terrifying. If it were a normal genius, just one clash would have broken his entire arm. During the previous matches, when Luolong used the golden blade, with just one attack, he had broken the opponent's entire arm. As one of the 9 godly weapons, using the Nanshan armament while combining origin laws and attacking, just how terrifying was that power? And Savage was well known for his brutality as well. Every slash he threw had cut right through every opponent. 2 incredibly strong forces had clashed head-on. Continuously for about 10 times. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, the largest construct in one of the buildings on a floating island above. Within that construct was a large hall. The entire floor surface of that hall was made of a dark greenish-black peculiar-looking crystal stone. On it was 64 slashes, which gave off a flicker that enticed people's souls. It made the entire hall give off a natural, and yet a dream-like peculiar aura. Countless thrones were separated in there, dispersed in an orderly fashion. In front of the big hall was a large screen. On it was the broadcast of Luolong and Rong Jin's battle. Virtual Universe Company actually placed both of them on the 00001 island. These two punks, their strengths are really not bad. However, they still can't be considered as the top of our Ganwu Universe country's level. This little bit of strength can't make it to the top 10. However, the top 100 or so, that's more like it. Blurry and scattered throughout the thrones were a bunch of men and women. Some tall while others tiny, some old and some young. The one thing they had in common was that their auras were all incomparably strong. Some blazing while others ice cold, this group of people with their incredible lifespans held the top positions within the Ganwu Universe country. Sat together and discussed. Not interesting. I still thought there'd be some surprise. Same level as the previous years. Just average. This group of great existences talked very casually. Within the arena, Luolong and Savage had been silent for a total of 20 seconds, finally breaking the stalemate. As the arena duels at most lasted 5 minutes, the longer time dragged on, the space would shrink more to the point where Luolong, who needed to dodge constantly, would be at a disadvantage. Under the continuous attack from the Nanshan armament, you can still block. Luolong's eyes gleamed with madness. I respect you, hence, Luolong raised both his arms and pointed at Savage. A golden light shot out from behind Luolong's back from the dark golden long rod, swiftly forming in mid-air. This scene caused everyone in the arena and everyone watching the broadcast, even the group of great Undying, to stare with their eyes gleaming. What? Savage's face could barely contain his shock. Second golden blade. Right? In front of Luolong was a floating golden blade, which had formed early on in the match. Yet, right now in mid-air, a second blade was taking shape, form. Luolong grit his teeth. His expression was grim, as his consciousness had split, having to use his full strength to control both golden blades. Nanshan armament, also known as the 9-level Hun Tian Yang, had a total of 9 levels to unleash. The first level was golden blade, the second level was the sky-piercing form. The first level itself was the easiest. Even domain lords who didn't understand the origin laws could use their strong spirit energy to form it. Of course, when one's spirit energy wasn't as strong, they had to rely on sufficient willpower and law origin comprehension to form it. The first form, during the elimination stage, Luolong was already barely able to form it in reality. The second form, sky-piercing form, was hundreds to thousands of times harder. Luolong. All the spectators on site, along with the countless humans from the hundreds of millions of galaxies, all cheered excitedly. There were many articles and details regarding Luolong and Rong Jin, which had been shared previously with many experts to analyze both their strengths. Naturally, the Nanshan armament was discussed as well. Hence, many of the audience knew of how hard it was to unleash the Nanshan armament. Luolong unleashing just one golden sword was already enough to make him invincible. Yet, right now he had actually simultaneously unleashed 2 golden swords. It was simply too intrepid. Savage let out a low roar while taking a big step and closing a distance of 1 kilometer with just that step. Rumble. Rumble. Supporting the energy wave, 2 golden rainbows shot out, break away. Savage had a struggling expression while slashing as fast as lightning at the golden rainbows. Dang. At the instant of the clash, the direction of his blade slightly changed. At the same time, Savage immediately turned and used the shockwave from the impact to add on to his rotation. Dang. Blocking even the second golden rainbow, fresh blood was spit out. Savage took 2 steps back as his expression paled. Regardless, his eyes were still burning with a stronger than ever battle spirit, shouting, Luolong, the 2 golden blades are indeed very powerful. However, you having to disperse your energy evenly to control both of them. The power of each of these blades is only about 90%, or so compared to the previous 1 inch, even with 90% power with the both of them combined, to be able to block it even once. I consider you powerful. Let's see how many more times you can block it. In mid-air from a distance, Luolong squinted while shouting back, come again, ha ha, ha ha ha. Savage suddenly laughed loudly. At the same time he violently threw the blade in his hand. The blade became a blurred image, almost like a secret weapon shooting towards Luolong. Luolong creased his eyebrows. In mid-air the golden rainbow became an arc and blocked the blade. Dang, that blade was knocked away and landed far away on the ground within the arena. What's he up to? The entire arena was noisy. A fighter throwing away his weapon. It was like a fighter cutting off his own arm. He must be insane. What's the matter? Why did he throw away his weapon? This savage has admitted defeat. That madman Luolong from the Black Dragon Mountain starfield. Ever since he took out 2 golden blades. That savage knew he couldn't win. Hence, he admitted defeat. That's not strange at all, not even fighting it out and admitting defeat. The spectators were in an uproar of discussions. Within the arena, however, the two of them were silent. On the ground, Savage flipped his hand and brandished a new battle knife. This was a huge, pure black battle knife. Compared to the one before, this new knife was twice as large. I never expected that, to gain a slot in the Ganwu universe country, I'd be forced to take out this earth-splitting blade. Savage's entire energy had changed. With the huge knife in his hand, Savage suddenly seemed to become like a wild war god, causing Luolong, who was in mid-air, to shout out, "Whatever tricks you may have, take them out and then we'll speak." Rumble. Rumble. The 2 golden rainbows pierced straight towards him. Ha ha. Savage laughed loudly. In an instant, there were suddenly 2 savages in the arena. The 2 silhouettes rushed towards Luolong with terrifying speed. What? Luolong, who was controlling the 2 golden rainbows, was extremely shocked. A spirit reader controller's greatest fear was being unable to pinpoint the target. Among these 2 savages, one of them must be fake. However, with my spirit energy scan, both of them seemed to be real. How can that be possible? Creating a phantom image was extremely simple. In truth, if normal people of Earth with their visual abilities were to watch Luolong's level of warrior, with their shocking speed, they would often see after images. Almost as though there was another silhouette of the same person present. And in truth, no matter how fast one moved, it would still only be one person. Even with a spirit scan, it was not easy to uncover. Arclight. Arclight. Luolong roared, shocked within. The golden horned beasts, 2 great techniques, one of which was the absolute space. The first level of absolute space was Arclight. The moment it was established, one's movement could cause the space to warp, creating a second body. The second level of absolute space was 1000 forms. The moment it was established, one could even create a 1000 to 10,000 bodies within an area. The third level of absolute space was teleportation. At this point, one would even be invincible amongst the Undying. Even Luolong's teacher, the master of the Yunmo planet, had never reached the point of teleportation. Even among the many generations of golden horned beasts, very few of them ever made it. This technique was actually a secret technique for the origin laws of space. Space origin law, it's space, and his comprehension is pretty high as well. It doesn't even seem any lower than his comprehension of the ground origin laws. He's actually able to cause the space to warp and create a second body. This punk, within our Ganwu universe country, there hasn't been a genius like him in a very long time. Mad, this punk is definitely mad enough. No wonder he dared to say that his baseline was the universe top 1000, while his true aim is to reach number 1 amongst all. Ground and space, comprehension of these 2 laws at such a level. With his domain reaching level 9, just who trained and nurtured such an absolute genius? The group of great Undying were all shocked. Because, for a universe-level warrior to step through the gateway of the origin laws, they were already considered outstanding geniuses. However, these belong to the galaxy-level geniuses. While others like Nabini or Hong, they belong to the category of starfield geniuses. By unleashing 1 golden blade, Luolong had belonged to the universe country level of genius. However, unleashing 2 blades, that was the pinnacle of a universe country level genius. As for Savage, ground and space comprehension, and such a deep comprehension at that. And this is only a star-level punk. He's really close to the peak. Go and die. In mid-air, Luolong pointed at Savage and roared. Rumble. Rumble. 2 golden rainbows respectively shot in 2 different directions. One at each savage, one who can be seen with the naked eye, and the other who was picked up with a spirit scan. It seemed like there were 2 savages. However, in truth, there was only one. Only because he warped the space around him, he created the effect of a mirror image of himself. Ha ha. Savage laughed, seemingly not caring about the 2 golden rainbows shooting at him, while he still aimed directly at Luolong. Break. The distant Luolong roared. Having been studying absolute space all this while, he was very clear about that first level and its power. And because he was clear of it, Luolong knew that even if he shot out the 2 golden rainbows they would be dodged. Hence the best thing to do was break. The 2 golden rainbows immediately dispersed into 18 golden little blades, and madly engulfed his surroundings in all directions. Immediately they dispersed and shot out. Immediately 2 of the little blades that were shot hit Savage's body. Even though their power was weaker after dispersing, they still affected his movement, die. Luolong surveyed below him. At the same time the 2 soaring shuttles beside him shot out 2 beams of golden light, forming 2 golden swordfishes. Dispersing the golden blades. And using the swordfish formation. Simultaneous exchange. The 2 golden swordfish shot towards the Savage whose movement had been affected. What? Savage was shocked instantly. With my comprehension of the space origin laws and movement, my instantaneous acceleration is shockingly fast. If his golden blades were a bit further away, I would have been able to easily dodge them. Even if there were 2 or 3 little blades that got close to him, it wouldn't have meant anything. After all, there were a total of 18 little blades. Instead, they completely affected Savage's speed and acceleration, breaking his momentum. Go and die. Luolong roared. Rumble. Rumble. The 18 little golden blades, which were separated at a distance, swiftly formed back into 2 golden blades behind Savage. During the time Savage slashed at Luolong, the 2 golden rainbows shot towards Savage. Even though he had sensed the danger through his domain, Savage not only didn't bother to dodge it, but instead roared, "Go and die!" His blade was fast as lightning. Luolong gripped his shield. He was feeling as though an entire mountain had come crushing down on him with a huge rumble. At the point, he lost his consciousness. After Savage's slash, he tried to dodge, but he had already missed his chance. Due to inertia, the 2 golden rainbows continued their motion. One brushed past his body while the other shot right through his chest, creating a hole as big as a bowl. His internal organs were all ruptured and fresh blood was spewing from within. Boom. Savage landed on the floor as fresh blood was flowing from his chest wound. Like a heavily wounded war god, he still stood there and stared at Luolong's body. And at that time, the 2 golden blades once again separated into 18 little golden blades and dropped, clanging on the floor of the arena. Continuous clanging could be heard loud and clear, resounding throughout the arena. The 1 billion spectators were all silent. All of them were watching the 2 absolute geniuses in the arena. One stood there. The other lay on the ground. Savage stood there silently, looking at Luolong's corpse on the ground. Luolong. Savage muttered, "My earlier plan was to defeat you and then commit suicide. And after go engage in the loser circle matches. However, your power far exceeded my imagination and what I expected. Without unleashing my full strength, there was no way I could defeat you. Compared to the effects of the long training in the loser circle, defeating you was more important, and with you risking it all, I couldn't defeat and spare you." Savage recapped the scene before, still shaken from it. This Luolong's reaction was too quick. According to his expectations, the moment he unleashed his true strength with both ground and space origin laws unleashed, just that instantaneous movement, which produced a mirror image, would make Luolong too shocked and distracted. Even if he used the golden rainbows to attack, Savage could easily dodge it. At this point, he would close their distance immediately and slash at Luolong, who wouldn't be able to resist and would be heavily damaged. And after that he would withdraw and commit suicide. Everything would have been very simple. However, in reality, it didn't go at all like how he had imagined. At the time he unleashed his powers, Luolong chose the least fatal attacking path, as the 2 golden blades that separated into 18 little blades and revolved around him. These 18 little blades shot out in all directions together, covering the surrounding space and immediately breaking his formation and movement. Simultaneously, he used 2 golden fish to attack. The battle of these 2. In an instant, Luolong controlled these 18 little blades to swiftly reform the golden blades and attack from behind, returning one move after another. From the time I unleashed my strength till the end of the battle, it wasn't even 0.1 seconds. The dispersed golden blade actually broke my formation. Immediately using the soaring shuttle to attack, and then using the reformed golden blades again to retaliate, and the timing was very precise. If he had hesitated for just a little, allowing me to use that space to attack, he would have been done for. To be able to think of everything within that short 0.1 seconds, but also execute everything perfectly. Calm and collected, absolute calm. Savage looked at Luolong's body, filled with respect. I could never achieve your level of calmness. Indeed. Luolong and his brother Luohua, the calmness was engraved deep within their bones. And on Earth, Luolong had experienced many life or death experiences, especially during the possession of the golden horned beast. He had already thought he would die. These experiences allowed Luolong to maintain his calm despite any dangers. And the bloodline of the golden horned beast affected him too, as the specialty of the golden horned beast was to slaughter coldly. Add on his big and second brother's mental state training. In terms of calmness, amongst the 100 or so geniuses that stepped through the gateway of the origin laws, Luolong was at the top. Congratulations to Rongjun. The loud and clear voice resounded throughout the arena, and thanks to Luolong, the two of them have delivered such an exciting match to our trillions of people within the Ganwu universe country. This was definitely this time's genius match's most exciting match till now. However, there will always be a victor and a loser this battle. Rongjun is the victor. Rongjun also receives a slot in our Ganwu universe name list. He has the right to represent the Ganwu universe country and competing against the geniuses from the other universe countries. Let us anticipate. The matches Rongjun will be fighting in with the other geniuses from all over the universe, eventually grabbing even more honor. Rumble. The 1 billion spectators erupted in cheers, some cheering for savage Rongjun while others still cheered for madman Luolong. This match was definitely a lot more exciting than a lot had expected. When Luolong's strength was unleashed, many actually expected Luolong to be the victor. Who would have expected Rongjun to be so sick, to be able to actually produce a mirror image, and finally that final slash was even more brutal. Luolong was dead, while Rongjun was heavily injured. Virtual universe, Ganwu continent, within a large palace. Within one of the large palaces, close to 1,000 youths were gathered. All of them were looking up at the screen, and on it was the battle between Luolong and Rongjun, which had just ended. Amongst you all, some have already acquired a slot in the name list. Some are about to participate in their fourth match. Below the screen, a tall and sturdy, green-horned single-eyed man roared softly, "You are our Ganwu universe country's most exceptional of this generation. Many of you think you are really something. Look at this. Look at these two. All of you look carefully." Finishing up, the green-horned single-eyed man walked out of the palace. Within the palace, a group of youths, men and women, all had complex expressions, pained expressions. "Stronger than me, both of them are stronger than me." A handsome cat-eared youth shook his head. "That madman, those two golden blades of his. I wouldn't be able to block it. Too strong. To actually be able to unleash two golden blades. I can barely even manage one." The fallen geniuses, many of them can only be deemed geniuses within a galaxy, or a star field. And geniuses like Luolong and Rongjun, these two punks, this level of absolute geniuses, the chances of their death are much lower. True, if it were in the Ganwu secret area, these pinnacle geniuses would be incomparably respected, lowering their chances of death the most. However, if it were in the virtual universe company, there are too many pinnacle geniuses there. Hence, the competition is intense and the elimination rate is even higher. The number of geniuses who die there compared to our secret area is much more. They require only the true absolute strong among the geniuses. This time, this Rongjun will definitely rank at the top of our universe country. And becoming the top 1,000 in the entire universe wouldn't be a problem either. As for whether he's able to make it as number 1 of the entire universe, I think the chances are extremely low. Instead, if it's top 10, there's still a possibility, right? Rongjun is definitely the number 1 in our Ganwu universe's geniuses. Luolong should be able to rank in the top 10. That Luolong punk was very calm. I really like him. That calmness. His chances of dying in the future are very low too. Luolong didn't know that this group of Undying from the Ganwu universe were ranking him and Rongjun by their strengths. He was still thinking of his previous battle, nimble and flexible. Luolong's consciousness returned to reality. Within his Earth home study, my flexibility still isn't enough. A spirit reader controller stepping on a spirit weapon should originally attack from afar. The moment a fighter closes in, that's just suicide. Luolong creased his eyebrows. As long as I'm nimble enough, making that Rongjun unable to even touch me, at least I wouldn't be at a disadvantage immediately. Space origin laws. I haven't even touched the door. However, the long periods of training in absolute space, my instantaneous movement speed has increased too. Luolong thought, when I return, I have to find a flying spirit weapon that suits me best. As for the soaring shuttle, it's too dispersed, not concentrated enough. Reflecting on every battle, this was the habit ingrained into every student of the Dojo of Limits. Luolong reflected on the battle for over a half hour before entering the Virtual Universe Network. Virtual Universe Network, Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay, 30, you've only returned now, where did you go after the battle? Thunder God stood in the grass patch of Luolong's villa. He was waiting there along with an entire group including Shushin and others there. Daddy, you were too powerful. Little Hai and Ping Ping rushed over to hug Luolong. Big brother, that was a beautiful match. Luolong revealed a happy expression. Right now the entire Ganwu universe country has been shaken. Countless people are debating about you. You can go into the Virtual Universe Company's page and take a look. Many people are leaving messages saying you and Rong Jun definitely belong to our universe country's strongest geniuses. Outside's gone crazy. Shugang nodded and sighed. Brother-in-law, you lost the match, but the entire Black Dragon Mountain Island won an incomparably exciting bustle. Indeed. Actually many people from the universe couldn't even understand the little details of the battle between Luolong and Rong Jun. However, once the battle ended, Rong Jun was already deemed unanimously by a large amount of sector lords and even Undyings as Ganwu Universe Country's #1. Not only that, he was also considered to be the strongest out of hundreds of geniuses competitions before. #1 out of hundreds of competitions before. This match was naturally roaring like a raging flame. Rong Jun and Luolong's reputation immediately soared. Where's Big Brother? Luolong asked curiously. Big Brother and Luo are in his house. Thunder God pointed at Hong's house. About 10 minutes after your battle, the founder of the Three-Axe Mountain named the Time Sector Lord Luo came. Time Sector Lord. And Big Brother. Luolong couldn't help but feel nervous. Within the living room of Hong's house, the old man with a head full of white sat opposite Hong. You don't regret it. Luo looked at Hong. Following me means you won't be able to return for 20,000 years. Hong nodded lightly. His eyes were calm, without any hesitation. Hong nodded and sighed. Yes, that match made me realize. I didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, my third brother and I had that much of a gap in power. He knew Luolong was strong, but he never expected him to be that strong. If I continue on my own isolated ways without the teachings of a teacher, I think the difference between my third brother and I will keep getting larger. I will get left behind even further. Hong shook his head and laughed. Actually, it's not just my third brother. I can feel the stress coming from my second brother too. Ever since he received the inheritance, his strength has been growing at an obviously much faster rate. The Time Sector Lord Luo smiled and nodded. It's good you feel the pressure. How about this, you get ready, then take a universe ship to meet up with me. I'll give you a day's time to say your goodbyes with your family, okay? Hong nodded. Not long after the Time Sector Lord left, Luolong and Thunder God entered. You are here, sit. Hong pointed at the two seats beside him. Big brother, what's going on? Thunder God stared at Hong, that founder of the Three-Axe Mountain, the Time Sector Lord. Why did he suddenly come? Didn't he give you 10 days worth of time to think about it? There's still another 2 to 3 days left. Luolong looked at Hong, feeling nervous inside. I looked for teacher myself. Hong said, teacher. Luolong and Thunder God's expression changed. You've really decided to go with the Time Sector Lord. Thunder God said nervously, this will be a trip that's at least 20,000 years. Can you imagine what 20,000 years is? Our China's recorded history and culture is only 5,000 years old. In an instant you'll be leaving for 20,000 years. This is simply, we can still meet in the virtual universe. Hong smiled, it's different. Thunder God shook his head. Luolong looked at Hong's expression, saying softly, Big brother, have you decided? Hong looked over and nodded. Yes, this trip. You won't be seeing Earth for 20,000 years, won't be seeing my home, and you won't be able to smell the air of home for a while. Luolong looked at him. Since I've taken this path to reach the pinnacle of strength, what can I not sacrifice? Hong shook his head. My children have long married and I have no attachments. If needed, I can just meet my children in the virtual universe. As for my home, the place that raised me, I'll leave it in my memories. I have to sacrifice some things to gain some. When my wife died and my children married and had their families, the most important thing in my life became martial arts, wandering the universe, seeing the many weird and peculiar things within, chasing after the pinnacle of life. That's the sort of life I like. Hong's eyes had a glimmer of light. In the vast universe the strong are as numerous as the clouds. My aim is to not just become strong within that universe, but to become one of the most outstanding and strongest. Luolong and Thunder God exchanged glances, feeling their big brother's absolute confidence and aspirations. To be able to reach a high level in the path of martial arts, one first had to have an absolute level of aspiration, only then will he work towards that dream, second and third brother. Hong turned to look at both of them, laughing, you two should be happy for me. Both of you already have your own inheritance. Can you bear to look at your big brother isolate himself and train alone? Thunder God was shocked, following which he laughed loudly, big brother, well said. 30 and I both have our inheritance. You go and follow that time sector lord. We will then be able to compare. Just which of the three brothers will be stronger next time, bring it on. Hong laughed too, big brother and second brother, I'll take the lead for now. Luolong laughed. Milky Way, Earth, Asia continent, Hong Ning base. China time year 2066, July 27th, evening about 5 p.m. The sun had yet to set behind the mountains, and the sky was red. A dark blue disc-shaped universe ship was floating in the air above Hong Ning base. The entire dojo of limits, all the upper echelon along with Hong's family had all gathered. After saying goodbye to his family and friends, this special, ultimate warrior of Earth, finally left alone in that universe ship. Goodbye, haha, don't be like that. I'll meet you in the virtual universe. With a laugh, Hong flew into the universe ship. Rumble. The universe ship fiercely accelerated and flew into the sky. Big brother, all the best. Thunder God stood in mid-air, he couldn't help but shout out. Similarly standing in mid-air, Luolong raised his head to watch the universe ship leave muttering, all the best. On this day, year 2066, July 27th, the ultimate pinnacle of warriors of Earth Hong took the universe ship and left his home. This trip was going to be a very very long one, the day of the fourth round of the genius duels. After the battle between Luolong and Rong Jun had ended, that same day all the other matches had ended too. A total of 625 victors were chosen. As for the other 93-75 who entered the loser's circle, they had 3 days of rest before they had to begin a high-density, tedious round of fights. Every one of them had to battle 9,374 times, just to get a slot in the remaining 275 of the nameless. Earth, Jiangnan Base, Yangzhou City, Big Brother is gone. Luolong sat on the balcony of his castle. He was lying alone there, lifting a cup of tea, his gone with that time sector lord to wander the universe. In his mind, he reminisced about every scene from the past clearly. In his ears he could still clearly hear the laughter the three of them shared yesterday, along with their vows. In a few thousand years, even tens of thousands of years, we three brothers will compete again. Right? We'll compete. Who's afraid? This was the vow of the brothers, whether it was Hong, Thunder God or Luolong, they all walked this path to reach the pinnacle of life itself. And this path was filled with twists and dangers. One could fall easily if he was careless. Luolong put down the cup, his eyes gleaming. Big brother, you work hard and I won't relax either. Barbata. Enter the virtual universe. Luolong split a thread of his consciousness to enter the virtual universe. In terms of consciousness strength, the universe-level golden horned beast's consciousness level was completely capable of splitting a part to maintain consciousness, in reality, while the other part was in the virtual universe. Virtual universe, within the slaughterhouse slaughter space. This was a vast space. Luolong stood in space. Waha, the demon Barbata jumped about and shouted, Luolong, the arena duel just ended. You have 3 days of rest, it's only the first day, and you've already entered the slaughterhouse, so hardworking. Speak, what kind of opponent do you want me to set up for you? Ha, I love training you the most. I want a spirit weapon. Luolong emphasized, a spirit weapon specialized just for flying. It should also be good for twisting about in small spaces. Since the battle with Savage Rong Jun, he had obviously felt his own flexibility, and speed was insufficient in the face of the opponent's speed. You've found the weakness. Barbata rubbed his chin with his small hand, floating above. He looked at Luolong. Luolong, are you looking for a long-term or short-term effect? Long-term and short-term. Luolong creased his eyebrows. The little demon nodded. Right, short-term is to increase your nimbleness as much as possible in a short amount of time, requiring only 10 days to half a month. As for long-term, that would mean working from the basics one step at a time, at the same time, picking a spirit weapon that would accompany you for a very very long time. Long-term. Luolong emphasized, I don't lack time. Very well. The little demon pointed his finger and raised his head. Your choice is very wise. Then I'll pick a flying spirit weapon for you. The most suitable for gold and space origin laws would be a level 5 spirit weapon, the Dark Cloud Shuttle. The little demon smiled. Of course, during the beginning, you'll probably not even be able to match up to the soaring shuttle's efficiency. However, there's no rush. I will train you well. How long do you think it'll take for my speed and flexibility to increase greatly? Luolong asked. Depends on your comprehension. The little demon said, the higher your comprehension, the comprehension of the origin laws will be faster too. With my sequence of training, I estimate you'll qualify in a year. If your comprehension is poor and you don't work hard enough, even 100 years won't be sufficient. A sequence of training. Luolong creased his eyebrows. He. The little demon curled his lips and smiled. Slowly, what we have is time. I will train you well. From the year 2066, July 30th, the loser's circle matches began. In terms of density and truth, one had to battle 10 times in a day. With Luolong's speed, he was able to finish a match in 1 minute. Hence, every duel may be taxing for his opponents. However, for Luolong, he was completely relaxed. After all, he was ranked among the top 10 of the Ganwu universe country geniuses. As for this loser's circle, including him, there were a total of 49 others who had stepped through the gateway of the origin laws. And of which, only 2 were capable of matching up to Luolong. Hence the loser's circle matches were very easy. In fact, they became the grounds for Luolong to test his battle strategies. Within the slaughterhouse, it was a large grass patch, and on it was a blur of countless bloodbirds covering the skies and flying towards Luolong. Dodge. Don't even touch them, damn, faster. You have to be fast. This test, there's a possibility of scoring a 100%. The little demon roared. And Luolong stood on the black peculiar shuttle spirit weapon. This dark cloud shuttle naturally extended black skin that wrapped about Luolong's boots. Luolong's entire being had already become a blurry image, dodging constantly under the attacks of the countless bloodbirds. As soon as he was hit by one bird, he was subsequently hit by others. When he was hit by 3 of them, rumble. All the bloodbirds vanished. You failed again. The little demon stared at Luolong with his red eyes, roaring angrily. Continue your basics training. I have never seen you so stupid. With a wave of his hand, immediately the surrounding grass patch vanished, and became a large machinery factory. Within it were many complex apparatus. Begin. The little demon roared. Luolong remained calm all the while. Barbata's words didn't seem to affect him at all. Under Barbata's constructed hell training, Luolong instead seemed to become even crazier. The little demon's words too slowly changed from the initial stupid, to average, to very weak, and finally, still passable. And the golden horned beast was spending all its energy on the deities of the world and absolute space, along with the training of the gold origin laws. This way time passed. The loser's circle duels didn't take much of Luolong's energy. In fact, they became a place to test his strengths. Barbata's hell training, however, was something that took up all his energy every day. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.